This will be joining me on a very early morning walk. One of the most important things, and I really mean one of the most important things I want to talk about is values and purpose. And this one will be a bit more about purpose. To give you an example, so when I was back in Manchester, 2018, that's actually a while ago, I felt so good. I really felt so good. And I was just listening actually about a podcast about purpose yesterday, and then I really realized, okay, this was the true reason why I felt so good. So imagine I was in the library very early morning when I was studying there for my previous masters. I was in the library until say 6:30 p.m. Then went to gym. Then it got later and later, was like 8:30 p.m. Then still had to go home to cook, and I was walking home. I felt tired. I was going to library like literally like 7 days a week. But every day when I walked home from the library and from gym, I felt so good. And you now wonder, why is this guy feeling so good when he comes home from library and I feel like a piece of trash? Because I'm tired of like studying and memorizing all the things and attending lectures, waking up early. Well, the difference was here why I felt so good, because I was fully on my purpose. The master's degree there in psychology, organizational psychology to be precise, was what I really wanted at that time. Was also when I did my coaching education. And yeah, so I felt every day when I left library I was getting mentally more fit, mentally more prepared. Another thing that played into that was that I had a very bad living situation. So I lived, especially in the beginning, I don't even have words for how horrible the flat was. I had bed bugs. My window, there was like a gap between my window and the wall, so whenever it rained into my room. It was cold, obviously, because the wind was coming also in from that gap. By the way, quite nice view here. So it was super cold, wet, and it was just horrendous because I was getting bitten by bed bugs. And but it was time for me to stand in for myself, so I argued with my landlord. He didn't want to like get the bed bugs removed, he didn't want to fix my window, and I made it into a different flat at some point. Then I back to the point, got mentally stronger by standing in for myself. I expanded my knowledge in an area I was passionate about for my career, and I got physically stronger by going to gym and also going kickboxing twice a week. So in total I went gym 8 times a week, twice for kickboxing, 6 times for normal weight training. And when I came then back to that scenario, when I came back from library, I felt so good because I was having a purpose. I was progressing mentally, I was progressing knowledge-wise, and I was progressing physically. You probably heard a lot around like men need to have a mission and men need to have a purpose, and the key point here is I obviously can't figure out for you what your purpose is, but maybe that example from me, and that at that time it was all for me about becoming a coach, because I found I can connect with people on a deeper level, like not on a superficial level, on a deeper level so well. I have a great intuition, and I just feel so motivated and empowered by motivating others, solving problems together with others, and just growing together, making progress together. So I really wanted to become a coach, and I wanted to expand my knowledge in psychology. and just little views here. And yes, I was doing that, so that was my goal, and every day I made progress towards that goal. So I said the key word here, progress. So once you identified some form of purpose, in my case it was becoming a coach, expanding my knowledge in psychology, and always getting mentally and physically stronger. And yes, why did I feel so happy now? Because every day I made progress. I made progress to getting more knowledge in psychology, getting closer to finishing my coaching education, and then working with first clients. And yeah, I saw obviously in the mirror, or also on the amount of weight I was able to lift in the gym, how I made progress towards that goal. And that's why I felt so good. So every day I left library. I was tired, yes, but I felt so good. And often when I think back, when was the happiest time for me? It was really that time when I was progressing on all levels, mentally, knowledge-wise, physically. And I was speaking a bit before about happiness, and is it related to having the right friends? Is it related to being at a super nice place, for example, where I am right now? And trust me, bro, if I would be here, but without my purpose, I would feel very different. It would feel just like an empty walk in the morning, which I'm doing right now. It would feel pretty empty. I would be still happy about the view, nice weather, sun. It would still be nice, but I would know that it is just temporary, and I would know that it can't solve my problems. I would know that I would feel like crap again when I get home. But that's not the case now, because I'm also here for my mission, for example, right now, speaking to you, growing this YouTube channel. So I combine this with my purpose, and always having that purpose in the background makes you experience things so differently. Going on a holiday to distract yourself from the life that you normally don't enjoy, from the job which you hate, is different than going on a holiday whilst being on a purpose, whilst knowing that, okay, I'm progressing towards the thing I want to progress to. And then you're going there just to restore a bit your battery, restore your energy, whilst maybe even developing new ideas for the thing you want to do. And yeah, right now the biggest purpose for me, besides going further in my psychology career, is to build a community for you, where we can do that together, where we can grow together, share these pieces of knowledge, and just push each other. Because now the second part, even more valuable than being on a purpose, is being on a purpose together, being in your tribe to push each other. When you go to gym and then you do that extra set because someone else is there to push you, because also someone else is there when maybe you funding a business, you had your first pitch for your business, it didn't go well, but then there's someone there to lift you up and say, okay, that's cool, but now we will smash it and get the next one. So that's what I want to do, create a community for you and me to do that together. Because I know it is difficult, especially when you have daily obligations, paying your bills, having issues with family, friends, whatever it is, like push you away from your purpose. Maybe no one else in your environment is on your purpose, and that was something I had so often also in my personal life, that I was on my purpose but no one else. And then it's so difficult, because it is the most important thing, and you will see when you do that, that like I said in my example, when I was coming home from library every day, how happy I felt, but obviously no one else gets it, because like, how can you feel happy when you come from library? I just want to eat food then and chill, but I didn't. I was then journaling in the evening, and I couldn't wait to get up in the morning, go library again and just make the next steps. But if you haven't experienced that yourself, it's so difficult to tell that to your friends who just don't get it. And then sometimes you lose track, and then you're in the end also lose your purpose again, and that's like so sad. So it is then about giving us a community to grow together and work on that purpose and push each other, support each other, talk about problems, and just really living our best lives. Because what's your goal? To be fair, it doesn't matter, because also when you're on your purpose and then you achieved, say, one goal, for example, for me it was getting my coaching education, and I had my coaching education. How did I feel? I just shrugging my shoulders, don't know, cool, done, achieved, next one. So for a man, it's all about progress. So when you achieve the first thing, it's cool, like when you achieve something, to then celebrate and like, cool, I made it. But then I was already thinking about the next thing, and it helps so much to do that together. So that's my purpose for now, to give us that space where we can do it together. And I'm working towards that. And this is in the back of my mind whilst I'm having that walk here in the morning. So as much as I appreciate and enjoy that I can be here, in my mind the motivation and fire comes from that I know, okay, I'm doing that for a higher purpose, and it feels so much better. So when I probably go to beach later, it is nice that I'm at the beach, but it is also nice that I don't do that to distract myself. It is nice because I restore some energy, that tomorrow I don't feel empty when I maybe drive home, rather than tomorrow I feel like, oh, I can't wait to maybe upload this video and just make the next steps. And that's what I want to achieve for you also, that you can look forward to the next day. You can look forward sometimes maybe even to sleep early. You can look forward to wake up early because you can't wait to make the next steps. And I can really tell you that's the best feeling, because when I asked about goal and how I felt when I got my coaching education, I felt good and it was great that I made it, but it is just a very, 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 very small point of time in life. It felt good for like 2-3 days that I got my coaching education, but what next? And this comes then also back to enjoying the journey, and the journey is then to just make progress. To make progress every day to the goal and purpose you're having. And once you achieve that, to get the next one. So it will be a continuous journey of purpose. And for some of you, it may sound very dissatisfying. Like, when does it ever stop? And I can tell you, don't worry, it won't stop, because you won't ever feel bad. You will always feel good when you are on that journey of making progress towards your purpose. And once you have achieved the first purpose, you get to the next one. And that's also why in the podcast I was listening to, he gave a very interesting example about when people retire and then they all the time work for like retirement, and then 2-3 weeks after their retirement they passed away, which is so sad, because they're like, oh, finally then I can relax, and then they passed away because they were working all the time. Maybe they even had a purpose, then they just gave it up, and that's like so sad. So I can say when I'm on my purpose I feel so good, and every day I'm looking forward to, and this is what people want to. They're like, oh, I just work and I want to be happy in the end. Well, you can be happy every day, if you have your purpose, because then you don't feel that emptiness, you don't want anything from other people, you don't need money to get a better whatever you want, clothes, car, holiday, because you understand you're already having everything you need because you have your purpose. And that's that. So continuing my walk, and I see you later. Just little scenes, because I was so much talking about purpose, and I was just so much in the zone, talking to you and delivering the message that yeah, didn't really show where I am. And in that moment again, I really realized that external things don't matter, because I felt truly happy. Even the environment is probably a nice thing which can make you feel good to look at that. It's a very nice place, but I was just happy by speaking to you because it was part of my purpose. That then also as an example where your purpose can take you. So your purpose doesn't need to limit you to something. For example, right now my purpose allowed me to work on the mission I'm having of supporting you in mentally, physically and knowledge-wise growth, and it still allows me to also go to the places I want. So sometimes people ask, what's my niche? Well, in this case, my niche is just a thing I'm passionate about, and to share them, because I feel to be authentic and to recommend something is really to be convinced yourself. So I'm just giving you what works, especially psychology wise, based on the evidence, but just also based on my personal experience. So whatever I say, you can trust that I try it on myself and it works. You also see it's all linked together. I don't want to touch too much on it for this video, certainly in another one, but also all about living in a human way, especially in a digital world. And why I just talk about it now, just very brief, because it's all linked to purpose. So when you're on your purpose, you're just more immune, less vulnerable for like cheap pleasure, like going on your phone, eating trash food, doing things which you actually know are not good for you, just because you feel you need to lift your mood or lift your happiness, because what you're doing on the daily isn't giving you any happiness. But yeah, that won't happen to you when you're on a purpose. So yeah, stay with me and get on your purpose.